Since the introduction of the BMW GS in the 1980s, it's become the most popular adventure touring bike on the market. But it's also become such a technological tour de force that some models are rolling off the showroom floors weighing over 600 pounds. This is the 2025 BMW R12 GS, and it's done the complete opposite. It is just an oil-cooled boxer engine, a single analog tack in the middle, and some enduro styling. And my question is, because of that, is this the most authentic BMW GS that you can buy today? This is Out Motorsports. My name is Tyler. Let's go for a quick ride. So I have a very short amount of time on this bike today, but before we go for a ride, let's just do some very quick specs and features. 21-inch front wheel, 18-inch rear, dual Brembo 2-piston calipers in the front and Brembos in the rear as well. It has a 1170cc boxer twin engine. It's oil cooled, so it's a few generations ago, which harkens back to, like I said, the original BMW GS. It makes 109 horsepower at 7,000 RPM and 80 foot-pounds of torque. And like I said, it just has a very simple analog dash in the middle, but it still has some electronics with some heated grips and cruise control and stuff. And it weighs just over 500 pounds wet, 479 dry, 505 pounds wet, with a 33.9-inch seat height. So without further ado, let's go for a ride. We'll get some quick first impressions and see what we think. All right, so setting off on the 2025 R12 GS, throwing a leg over it. This 33.9-inch seat height does feel pretty tall. I'm 5'9" with a very short inseam, and I'm definitely on my tippy toes, but the seat is pretty skinny, so it makes it feel a little bit shorter than the seat height might suggest. Starting it up, have this oil-cooled boxer engine, more like the R1200 GS engine, and less like the R1300 GS engine that we tested last year. So, first thing I notice is this is very much not like your big boy tech-filled GS in the fact that there's no wind protection on this bike. On a hot day like today, it's really nice. This essentially, like I said, I'm 5'9". This little screen right here kind of cuts the wind up to my neck, so it takes it off my chest, but it doesn't take it on my head, or take it off my head or my helmet. So at this speed, at 50 miles an hour, you get some clean wind. What I will say I noticed immediately, this is, like I said, my very first impression, is see those throttle tubes down there? Those throttle tubes are hitting my leg, and I'm short. So if you're tall, you might have some problems fitting on this bike. But man, it's got some torque and it's quick. So comparing this engine to the R1300 engine, this engine is a little bit more old school BMW, so it's a little bit more agricultural. It's a little more of a flat power curve. It has a very flat torque band like typical BMW Boxers do, but the R1300 likes to rev. It almost comes up on that second cam, which is a result of the shift cam technology they have in it. This is a little bit more of a simpler engine, so it has more of those very typical BMW, not vibes, because it's very smooth at this 65, 70 mile an hour range, but it has that character. It has a quick shifter, which is honestly smoother than the R1300 that I rode last year, for so far at least. Traction control's kicking in there, stopping me from doing anything stupid. So this is highway speed, 75. The off-road tires make it a little bit vibey. But as far as feeling in the handlebars and stuff like that, it chills at highway speeds just fine. The exhaust sounds great. So one thing I noticed is I have the blinker on, and it doesn't have a specific direction for the blinkers on this little display here. All it does is tell you that the blinkers are on. While we're at this light, you can try to go through some stuff. You have clock, you have temperature, you have engine RPM, a little digital engine RPM down there, so you can see that on this analog gauge. Sitting at a light like this, it's still old school BMW in a way. You get that boxer shake, that boxer rumble, but it's nothing intrusive compared to my Moto Guzzi V85 TT, which is actually a bike that this would compete with as far as specs are concerned, not necessarily price. This is much smoother and more refined, but it's also double the price. You get some power outlets, a USB to your left, a little cigarette lighter, 12-volt outlet to your right. And this tank is nice and small on the side. It's a 4-gallon fuel tank, and because it's pretty small, you don't really get much wind protection from it, but it also makes it so that the seat is nice and skinny. Yeah, this quick shifter so far seems a lot better than the R1300 that I had last year. Possibly because there's not as much weight. Alright, so we're at 70 miles an hour right now in 6th gear, maybe just a little bit over 70, between 70 and 75, and we're pulling 3,800 RPM, 3,900 RPM. So if I bring it up to 75, we're right at 4,000 RPM. So this bike, if you really wanted to find a windshield to put on it and give yourself a little bit more wind protection, could be a great little highway tourer in typical BMW fashion. They have that touring personality no matter what they build. And despite the off-road knobby tires of this thing, it likes to sit on the highway and tour. Even the wind blast is not bad at all. It feels great on a hot day like today. It's almost 90 degrees, and there's no buffeting. It's just a nice, clean stream of air going into my helmet, but it takes it off my chest and kind of blows right over my shoulders. The gearbox on this is typical old school BMW single clutch gearbox. It's not a wet clutch, and it's really adapted pretty well, much better than I expected, to this quick shifter. When I shift it without the quick shifter, it is pretty reminiscent of my old R1100. It is a little choppy going from first to second right there on the quick shifter, but other than that, it's great. I will say, after just this very short amount of time, my legs do hit the intake tubes and they're a little bit warm. So if you're a taller person, you definitely need to test ride this motorcycle because it's a little bit cramped just from the boxer engine and the way that they're kind of forced to design it. But since this test ride is already coming to a close, essentially, let's answer our question. Is this the most authentic GS on sale today? My answer would be yes, this is. It's an oil-cooled boxer BMW. It's got lots of off-road vibes. It's got some great touring chops if you really want to take it on long trips and you can deal with the wind. It's a good one, that's for sure. So definitely a bike with a lot of personality if that's what you're after. It's got the looks, it's got the performance. and it's very, very unique. So that's the quick and dirty first ride review of the 2025 BMW R12 GS. If you like this review, please subscribe for more. We've got more on the way. Thank you as always for watching, and we'll see you next time.